This is my video on trigonometry. The first thing we're going to do is Pythagoras Theorem. So Pythagoras was this genius from a long time ago, and he discovered this pattern with right angle triangles. So right angle triangle, it's usually denoted by a little symbol like this or sometimes like that. And what it means is that this angle here is at 90 degrees. So it's a right angle. Now I've just drawn a rough sketch here, but in an exam, they'll show you this and you'll know that that angle has to be 90 degrees. So there's a couple of new words here. The line of the triangle that's across from the right angle is called your hypotenuse. I'm just going to put H for short. What Pythagoras discovered was that the length of this line squared is equal to the length of the other two sides squared and added together. So let me use a different colour. I'm going to use green. Let me call HA for now, just to make it easier, right? I'm going to call this A, I'm going to call this B, and I'm going to call this C. It doesn't matter. You can call that B and that C. It doesn't matter which way we do it because we're going to be adding them together in the end. So the formula is A squared, where A is the hypotenuse, is equal to B squared plus C squared. So they'll have to give you some kind of information to work this out, right? Let's say they told you that C was equal to 4 and B was equal to 3. And they said, what's H equal to? So they're like little puzzles, right? And we use this formula here. We manipulate this formula by, again, going back to our algebra, subbing in. You have to know your algebra to be able to do everything else. So A squared, right? So A squared, that's our hypotenuse, remember, is equal to the other two sides squared and added together. So in this case, I've said B was 3. So that means it's 3 squared plus 4 squared. Let's work it out. So A squared equals 3 squared is 9. 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. And 4 squared is 16 because 4 multiplied by 4 is 16. So that means A squared equals, what's 9 plus 16? 25, right? So that's great, and you'll get most of your marks if you get down that far. But we haven't worked out what A is. We've only worked out what A squared is. So like in the other video where I was showing you about square roots, you have to be able to understand that to be able to do this part. So if A squared is 25, in order to get A on its own, we need to get the square root of 25. Okay? And we know the square root of 25 is 5, so A equals 5. So this up here is 5. So the length of that is 5, the length of that is 4, and the length of that is 3. And we've worked all that out by using this here, where A is the hypotenuse, or H. Okay?